Okay, this may make some people uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. We can all do better. We are in a time that we've never faced before with the virus. This global pandemic, people are dying and everything is crap. But we can all do better to fight against things that just shouldn't be happening. Racism has been around for as long as we have. And there's no need for it. There's just... Now, obviously the majority of people in the world are not bad. Just unfortunately, the bad things are very loud. But that doesn't make the majority of the people of the world good either. The majority of the people are silent. They may think in their head if they see something, whether it be racist, sexist, ableist, homophobic, they may think, that was awful. That person shouldn't have said or done that thing. But by not saying something, you're not helping it. If anything, you're making it worse. Silence is violence. Silence is allowing it to continue. Now, I've spoken before, I am biracial, but I am white assumed, I look Caucasian. So with that comes privileges. So I'm using my voice to tell you all, to tell me, we can be better. Now, I've heard that some people are against posting the black square on Instagram and things like that. And even if you've done that, just because you've done it, that doesn't mean the fight is over. The fight will always need people. But we can be better. So I congratulate the people who are out there protesting, who are fighting, because especially in America, you know, this isn't the first death of the year. There's been others days ago as well. And the thing is, they need people to support them. And I'm not saying all cops are bad, it's the same thing. That not all cops are bad, but that doesn't make them all good either. It's the silent people who are allowing it to happen. The thing is, with being silent, you're part of it. There's a systematic issue with authority in many, many places, even here in Australia. So, with all the stories that have been going on in America and making Australian news, it's been brought to light that in the 90s, 1991, there was a Royal Commission against police brutality and deaths in custody of Aboriginal people. Since that Royal Commission came out, nothing has changed. The numbers are still the same. There's been over 400 deaths in custody of Aboriginal people since then. It's not acceptable. I know that some people die in custody and there are some things that we can't fight against. You know, things happen. But people should be watching. They should be helping. And there is inherent racism in everything. And we think that Australia is a very multicultural country, and it is, but that still doesn't mean that we aren't racist. After all, we were colonized, weren't we? And there are certain privileges that I receive from that. So going down the street, I am scared from being a woman and from being disabled that I am a target already. But I still would receive less violence than somebody of darker skin. And that's not right. It's not. And it's uncomfortable to talk about these things. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to hear it, but we can all be better and we can all use our voices better by stop being silent, by pulling up our racist uncle or whoever it is. And obviously keep yourselves safe. If you're able to protest, that is wonderful, but please stay safe. I know that there are a lot of protests happening this weekend in Australia, and you know, these things need to be talked about. They need to be on the news, so do it, but please be safe. Remember, we are still in a pandemic. Keep social distancing, wear the masks and everything if you can. Please be safe. Now, a lot of people are angry because we couldn't do our rallies for Anzac Day, and I understand that. The thing is, it is a little bit different now because restrictions have been eased and we are allowed to go outside and we're allowed to go to the shops to visit our friends. So please don't see these protests happening and thinking, oh, it's disrespectful because it's only now an Indigenous matter, which, just shut up for one. But we weren't allowed to do it for the Anzacs. Now, we weren't being disrespectful by not doing that for the Anzacs. It was to save lives. And yes, staying home still saves lives, but the government has allowed people to go out. So now they're allowed to do it. If people were to do a pride rally as well, they're allowed to do it. We're allowed to be outside now. And that's great. And I always congratulate people peacefully protesting about whatever in Australia, that's our right. That's how you even get the stupid bloody Nazis doing their protest, which is another thing which you're not allowed to do. But legally in Australia, if you get the little form filled, you can protest about anything. But it is a little bit different now with the virus. So please, please, please be safe. But this needs to be spoken about. So since the Royal Commission, there's been 14 deaths per year. That's more than one a month for 3 decades since a Royal Commission looking into such deaths. You can understand people being angry and wanting to protest. Now, with Indigenous Australians take up 3% of the overall Australian population, but they take up 27% of the prison population. Now, an Indigenous man is 15 times more likely to be in custody than a non-Indigenous man. An Indigenous woman is 21% more likely to be in custody than a non-Indigenous woman. Now, we need to look at why this is happening. And obviously society issues and all these things. This is what we need to look at. We need to help everybody up rather than pushing each other down. And if you ever wondered what you would do during slavery or the Holocaust or civil rights movement, you're doing it now. And for people saying, all lives matter. Yes. But for that to be true, Black lives need to matter. Because the way the world is treating them, it's like they don't. And they do. It's like saying not all men are abusers. Of course not. But it's enough men for it to be a global issue. You understand? So don't say all lives matter. And if you do, you better mean that you take care of people in the foster care system, you take care of people of color, you take care of the LGBT plus community, everything, okay? But all lives matter can't matter before Black lives matter. Stop treating them like they don't. Now remember, please stay safe out there, okay? And we can get through this together if we stop being silent, we take a look at ourselves and internalize racism, and we just be better. Okay, stay safe.